This is my 2014 M8000. Today we are repurposing a sled and changing it into something probably not what you think. We've got rails today here on Six's Backcountry. Snowing outside now. That's nice. That's a nice feature. Let's start up the old girl. She's still doing good. She still runs well. Yeah, fuel light's been on forever. We might actually have to fix that. And the problem is, if I keep this machine the way it is, I'm gonna keep riding it in the mountains. I like it! But I also have my turbo mod back here for the steep and deep stuff. But I don't have really anything super awesome for around here. Or for like those years that the snow just sucks. Last year was a good example of that. Yeah, I got the Phaser and I got the Alpine, but I don't really have anything for around here. Nothing that's decent anyways. So what I'd really like to do is build a machine for around these parts. Because it bums me out when we get all the snow around here and we can't effectively rip it up. And I've had these parts sitting around a long time. Not only rails, track too. Okay, so here's what we're doing. On the bottom, that one is a 162 cat rail. Same as what is in that skid right now. It's not a 153. And it's also not a 146. You'd think it would be like a 146 rail because that's like the popular thing to do now. That's like what everybody's doing is high horsepower short track. So I got these shorter rails off a XF 1100 turbo. So just to give you a sense, that's kind of how that 141 rail is going to fit in there. So it's only going to go to there. So we'll be losing like a little less than a foot. I got a smoking deal on these rails. They kind of like came mostly pre-built. Same with the track over there. I got that out of an 1100 turbo and XF. Not the same one, but both 2014s. When I got that track, it came with new drivers too. We're still using 3-pitch drivers. And right now, probably everybody's wondering, what is this track? Well, it's the one I wanted, so let's go have a look. It's gonna work good for us. 3-pitch, still like a pretty gnarly track. Still got some real lug on it. 141 by 15. 2.25, 3-pitch. I'm gonna start in here. I'm gonna start by getting the track out. I will give you guys a few little tips, a little bit of a how-to, because I don't think we've ever done a track video here before, and if we did, it was like a really long time ago. But let's start by getting the track out, and then we can look at the skid. We'll get the new track popped in. So we'll start with the skid. The skid is super easy. It's just like 4 bolts. A lot of people will lay the sled on its side so that they can get a better angle of getting that track out once they get all the hardware out. I never do that. I always just use my my track stand, but I'd say that's how most people do it. Start by getting the skid out. Super easy. 4 bolts. 2 on this side, 2 on the other. So there you go, skid is out. They're super easy if you've never done one. And I have those 141 rails right beside. So you can see how much shorter we're gonna be. I'm gonna start over in here on this side. We'll get the exhaust out and then we'll see how that chain case is holding up. Okay, moment of truth here. Whew, and that looks good. We can go ahead and start disassembling our chain case, starting with the tensioner. This is what I replaced last year. Oh, taking out the snap ring on this bottom one. There it is. Can be a little bit of a pain. It's got a spring washer on it, so make sure you put it back together the same way when we put it together again later. These chain cases change a lot over the years, so this one might look a little different. Aftermarket tensioner, nothing wrong with that. There is what your chain case looks like when it's totally disassembled, if you've never seen it before. Okay, so that's it. Like that's all we're gonna do here on this side. Changing a track, actually, it's not all that tough if you have a little bit of time. But as far as our chain case side, that's all we got to do on that side. We'll move on to clutch side of our track install. This side's easy too. I don't know, tracks are easy. The only piece of advice I really got for this side is put your parking brake on, because that'll lock up the master cylinder. And then when you go to disassemble your brake caliper, you don't bleed fluid everywhere. It just stays closed. Then we're just gonna get rid of all these guards here. Then we'll be able to deal with the brake caliper. Somebody's been a little bit hard on their brake pads. Oh! And once you got that out, there's only 3 bolts keeping the track in. It is very dirty, these 3. One on kind of each corner of this this caliper here. So we have to get them from behind, and they are 10 mils from behind. I'd like to ratchet strap up the back of my track just a little bit, just to give me a little more room to work. So there you go, there is our 162 on the left, next to our new 141 that's going in. Going from a 2.26 down to a 2.25, so not a huge difference actually. These tracks are directional, which means arrows facing forward. There we go. I have new drivers. These are the old set that we just took out, and I'm just gonna keep using them because there's nothing wrong with these ones. All right, I'm gonna get this track in, and it's not something that's gonna take me a super long time to do, and then we can have a look at the skid here, and we can carry on with the rebuild for that. We're gonna have to do some additional stuff, but if we can get that done today, then we can call her good. I'll get this new track put in behind us here. I'm not gonna do quite as much video. It's the same thing, I'm just doing it backwards. It already looks weird. We can reassemble the chain case side, since everything in here is okay. Looking good. It's looking a little shorter than before. Maybe we'll get the skid assembled. We just leave it like that. I like doing tracks. Tracks are easy. All right, so I'll roll out the skid that's behind me here, and I'll do the rebuild here quick. Mine's a little different because I have the anti-stab wheels on the front. And then around to the back, I don't have the tri-hub on there anymore. I have basically the 2019 non-alpha rear end. I always end up calling it like the hardcore rear end. That's not what it is, but that's what I always end up calling it. The tri-hub that was back there, it just blew up on me one too many times, so wheels don't tend to just explode like the tri-hubs do for some reason. The tri-hubs are also like bolted together. These are each independent, so when one of the wheels blows up on your tri-hub, it'll take out the other one too. One scratcher because I just burnt the other one right off. Good thing our new rails come with new scratchers. I'm just gonna time lapse it. I'm gonna take everything apart as assembly. Once the skid is all done, we'll drop it back in and we'll see how goofy our snowmobile looks. Just wrapping up here, just doing the slide rail end caps. They're just toast, but I happen to have 2 brand new ones in the toolbox there. Perfect. It's not a tough thing to do if you're just taking apart all the assemblies and just transferring things over. It's pretty easy. I also got a little lucky because I didn't have to do scratchers. I didn't have to do high facts. I didn't have to do some of the press bushings. I am gonna pop the skid in and we'll see what kind of an abomination we built. All right, that's it. This is our new snowmobile. There are some geometric changes between those two rails. Does that look weird? I don't think that looks weird. I think we leave it. I think we leave the tunnel. Everybody going short tunnel all the time? No, long tunnel. So obviously there's still a bunch more work that needs to be done here, but that's good for today. That's all we're gonna do for today's video. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some changes to the suspension and a bunch of other stuff. My phone is telling me I have less than a minute of recording left. I was going to explain today why I went with the 141 and why not like a 146 like other people have been doing, but we're out of time for today. For now, I'm going to go into this thing. I'm going to start looking it over. I'm going to figure out what suspension changes need to happen for this thing to sit right. Thanks everybody for watching. See you in the next video.